Be a lot of fun. I mean, I enjoy connecting with folks like you, right? Like it's cool because we see a lot of different trends, and I want to capitalize on it, and then kind of seeing where the market's going to flow. But anyway, we are live. Think Realty Nation, what's up? It's Avi, and I'll tell you something. Being here at Think Realty Irvine at the Marriott Irvine Extra Spectrum is interesting. I kind of messed up that word, but you know what? I got it right now. I'm with RK from Market Order, and we're going to talk a little bit about what markets are hot, what markets are not, what trends you're seeing in the marketplace, especially in real estate, and just kind of go down the line. So, ready to be in the hot seat? It's going to be a lot of fun.
In the hot seat.
Cool. Before we get started, what's the best way that folks can get in touch with you?
The best way is either to go on our website, marketorderglobal.com, or simply call us at 888-663-1160.
I thought I remembered like numbers and phone numbers. I don't anymore. I'm just like marketorder.com. That just makes sense for me.
Market
It's
Order
super
Global
easy.
or any of our portfolio companies, Go Momentum, for example, or Realty One Group Marketplace, and they'll come right up to us.
Cool. So help me understand from the very beginning, what was the inspiration for Market Order, and then of course the portfolio companies that you own right now?
Well, the inspiration originally occurred back in 2010. We've been in the business pretty much uninterrupted since 2005, and the principals and I and my other partners have been together uninterrupted since 2010.
Okay.
But we got into the marketplace pretty odd. We actually really exploded in '07 and '08. And as you recall, the market went down in '08. So we really came into the marketplace at the worst possible time.
But also the best possible time. It depends on what you look at, right?
No, it was the worst possible time.
If you were well capitalized, it was the best possible time. But
so we got our feet wet with a lot of foreclosures, a lot of short sales, just like anybody else.
Yep.
We became very good at what we're doing in terms of getting people out of foreclosure. We were known as that. Go to that company to get reinstated, go to those principals, they know what they're doing.
Yep.
And that eventually led into Market Order, forming in 2015.
Very, very cool. What's been your greatest kind of acquisition lately?
Our greatest acquisitions are still our bread and butter, which are the multifamilies and the single-family residences. We've expanded into other markets. I would say our top 5 markets are California, Arizona, Nevada, Texas, and North Carolina.
Gotcha.
But I still enjoy helping people out of foreclosure. REOs, real estate-owned properties, is still my forte. Turning non-performing assets into performing is still what I enjoy doing.
Yep.
And as we see in the marketplace tightening up and the ebbs and flows that are occurring right now in the investment world, we're creating our own opportunities. We do a lot of off-market. In fact, one of our portfolio companies, Go Momentum, is actually created for that purpose, to go directly to the homeowner. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Awesome.
And that's generated ancillary services such as insurance and trust deeds and other opportunities. What we found is the market ebbs and flows. We're getting properties off market. We're doing a lot more rehab than we used to do. And the real investment grade stuff is happening in other parts of the country.
Yep, gotcha. So there are a lot of new investors that are always asking, like, how do I analyze a market? What do I do to kind of maybe get into a market? Maybe it's my backyard, or maybe if I'm in California, I want to take a look at some markets that maybe in the Midwest, maybe in the Southeast, because it's a little bit more affordable. What are some of your kind of 1, 2, 3 go-to strategies for analyzing market?
Yeah, some of my go-to markets that I like to go to are pretty much the high growth areas.
Okay.
Obviously, I love California.
Yeah.
But from an investment standpoint, California doesn't always offer the
It can be a little
grade properties
Yeah.
in the spreads. We have a lot of the high equity positions, but in terms of cash flow and cap rates, you can go to places like Texas, North Carolina, Florida, the Midwest. I like Chicago. I like Illinois. I like those type of markets where people want to live. There's a good employment base there. There's good educational opportunities.
So what do you think about Detroit?
And Detroit. Detroit, I like actually Metro Detroit.
Metro Detroit's
a lot
good.
of people gave up on Detroit back in '08, '09. We were one of the few companies that went in there, and we were looking at those $5,000, $10,000 houses like everything else. But I actually love what Quicken Loans and some of the other guys, Dan Harkey, and some of the other people out there have done. The Detroit metro area, which has undergone, they say gentrification, I like to think more redevelopment. Because people remember Detroit was a booming area.
I mean,
at one time.
that's quite frankly a better word for Detroit, redevelopment, absolutely.
I think so.
I agree.
Because back in the 60s it was booming, 50s it was booming. So it's a redevelopment area. And I like what they've done. I was in Detroit a couple months back. I like what they've done downtown. I like what they've done with the big work lofts, condos, and the employment, quite frankly. They've really brought it into an area where people want to live in downtown and Metro Detroit.
So you mentioned Texas and Arizona. Tell me a little bit more about those markets. What do you like
I like
most
those
about
markets.
those
I like Houston.
Okay.
My last
Houston's
time I
good.
was in Houston,
Houston's nice.
3-bedroom, 2-bath home, for example, you
Yep.
can get for 160, 160,000.
Yeah.
You can rent it out for 1,800, 2,000 a month.
Yeah.
Those are very good rental numbers, cap rate numbers, and cash
Yeah.
flow numbers for us as an investment
Yeah.
company.
Got it.
I'd like to get more of those deals. Here in
Cool.
California, Southern California,
Yeah.
you can't even get a lot here in Orange County, for example.
Yeah.
160,000.
There's no way. Yeah.
I love Houston. I
Yeah.
think Houston is still one of the best areas. It's still one of the most affordable areas.
Okay.
And quite frankly, it's one of the most diverse cities in the country.
Yes.
So Houston would be my top choice, and that's just me. I used to like Austin, I still do, but you're not buying $160,000 houses in Austin.
It's not going to happen.
You can in San Antonio in some
Yeah.
markets, but no. Dallas, no.
Yeah.
In Austin, Texas, no.
So those are like really, really hot markets, right?
They are.
We got Dallas, Houston. A lot of the states that you mentioned have hot markets right now. We were talking about Detroit for a second, but I'm sure there are other cities around the country like Detroit that are still turning around. Like you said, Dan Gilbert came in, Quicken Loans really started to turn things around. We developed the city of Detroit and really worked with the government to make that happen. What are some things that you look at for markets that are kind of turning around that you want to see before going all in and saying, we're going to deploy 10 million, 30 million, 100 million in this market?
Well, I'll give you an example. I got my master's in Ohio, in Athens, Ohio. But prior to relocating to California, I lived in Columbus, Ohio. Columbus is not known
kidding
as
me?
a super big
I was
market.
born in Michigan, so that means we hate each other automatically.
Not
Come on,
necessarily.
man.
I actually was one of the few people who voted for Michigan when they
Oh, okay.
when
All
they-
right.
when they
So
used to play
we're
against
friends.
Ohio
We're
State.
allowed to be friends.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
I was
good.
with the grad
Okay.
school there. That was one of my top choices there. Ann Arbor.
I was gonna say, oh man, you cannot be in Ohio. You cannot be like Eddie Wilson. He and I go
But
back
you
and
look at
forth
secondary
because
markets. I love Columbus, Ohio. Again, it's the
for the
affordability
rental
factor.
is awesome.
It
Yeah.
is being around good education,
Yep.
employment centers,
Yep.
and quality of life.
Okay.
Indianapolis, Indiana. I
Yep.
like Indianapolis.
Yes.
Atlanta, the suburbs. Atlanta used to be very hot. Everybody went into Atlanta.
Yep.
But the suburbs are still one of the best areas there. And quite frankly, I know this is going to sound strange, but I look for kind of a city that has a first world infrastructure,
Yep.
but still has a second and third world kind of employment base, labor
Yep.
costs. A place
Yep.
where people can afford to live, for one.
Yeah.
And places where companies can afford to operate easily.
Yeah. I mean, I think also you take a look at primary markets. You take a look at Atlanta, for example. I live in Atlanta, love Atlanta, but we also now have to start taking a look at secondary markets as well, a little outside of Atlanta,
I do.
where folks that can't afford to either rent or buy,
Sure.
then they'll be forced to go to these markets.
Yeah, you look outside of Atlanta like Lithonia or Covington
Yes,
or
exactly.
Macon, Georgia, just all of
Macon,
these other
Noonan,
areas.
these types of areas.
Exactly. I love those areas.
So if I'm an investor in California, are there any secondary, tertiary markets in California that still exist with opportunity, or should I be looking at, say, a Chicago, Illinois, and maybe Schaumburg for
I
these
think
types
they
of
exist
flips?
depending on your risk tolerance. For example,
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable buying a $80,000 house, say in Barstow,
Okay.
which is way out in the boonies. It's like 2.5, 3 hours from
Okay.
LA. Atalanta,
Yeah.
areas that people haven't heard of, the high
Yeah.
desert, Hesperia, Victor. I'm comfortable buying those properties.
Yeah.
But to somebody out of state, remember, at the end of the day, real estate is always going to be local.
Yeah.
I don't care how much experience you think you have. Every
That's right.
market is local.
That's right.
As an investor, you have to look at where is your money treated the best. Not
Yeah.
always just if you're a local expert in things. That's why
Yeah.
you have all these fiduciaries out here that work well.
Yeah.
But I'm comfortable from a risk tolerance putting my investors' money and my capital, my company's capital into those markets because I know them well. I know what we're going to rent them out for. I know
Yeah.
what we're going to, if we fix and flip, I know what they're going to sell for.
Yeah.
And I'm comfortable with these markets. Most of the investment grade stuff I see left in California is still in the middle of the state.
So you have all your exits and your entry points all squared away even before you know.
Always, because
Even before you
again,
buy.
we're an
Yeah.
investment sponsor.
Yeah.
We're a borrower in some cases.
Yeah.
And we're also managing people's capital.
Awesome.
So we have to make sure that we have everything covered from A to Z because at any point we may have to come in.
Yeah.
If we lend money out and someone doesn't perform, we have to step in and complete the project.
Awesome.
Which we're willing to do.
So we have less than a minute. What's the one thing, one, two, three things that your company can be used by real estate investors
I would
for?
say if any real estate investors came to Market Order Global,
Yeah.
number one, they get transparency.
Yeah.
Number two, they get full competence.
Okay.
Everyone from in our organization, from top to bottom,
Yeah.
has rehab houses. They know real estate. We like to say we excel at all things real estate.
Yeah.
And most importantly, we offer double-digit returns on everything. 10 to
Winner.
15% passive, up to 30 to 50% cash on cash.
Yeah.
More aggressively for fix and flip rehabs.
I like it.
Yep.
What's the website?
www.marketorderglobal.com.
Boom, man. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Listen up, thanks to Realty Nation. MarketOrder.com is your resource. Check it out. It makes a whole lot of sense. If you're analyzing different markets, different things, you need a keen understanding of, one, how to look at markets that are turning around, and two, how to look at markets that are already awesome. Check it out. See you in a sec.
Thank you.
Well done.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you very
Absolutely.
much. Good talk.
You have a card?